Welcome to Best Ball 101. That's right, summer school is in session for Best Ball. Now, if you're experienced with Best Ball, check out all our other strategy videos on the FanSpeak network. We have plenty of videos all summer long going through deep Best Ball strategies. But if you're new to Best Ball, this will get you comfortable getting started. So, let's talk about what is Best Ball. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a season-long fantasy football tournament or contest that takes your best score. So there are three sites that you could play best ball on. Of course, Underdog, DraftKings, and Drafters. But for all of them, they're taking your best score at the starting position. So that means no waivers and no changes. So you have to account for bye weeks and injuries. But each of the three sites that you can play on has the same starting position. So let's take a look at those starting positions. You're going to start each week one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, and one flex. So again, you're going to want to account for that. You're not going to want to draft like five good quarterbacks, because then it's not going to allow you to get the other players you need at the position. You want to make sure that you fill out that starting roster and then kind of fill out the bench. I'd say that's kind of the first thing to consider when looking at a starting roster. Now, what do we recommend drafting on each of the three sites? It'll range site to site, and it'll range on the different styles of draft. And we'll get into that because we are going to do Best Ball 102, Best Ball 103 at deeper strategies. And those will talk about different strategies, about the different positional allocation that you'll use based on the type of draft strategy you have once you start your draft. But basically, for each draft, you want to draft 2 to 3 quarterbacks, 4 to 7 running backs, 7 to 9 wide receivers, and 2 to 3 tight ends. Now, on Underdog, there are 18 rounds, and DraftKings and Drafters, there are 20 rounds. So obviously, you could take that a little further on DraftKings and Drafters, but on Underdog, it is 18 rounds. So, but keep in mind these numbers. You really want to stick within that. Really, no matter what site, you could maybe push one of the numbers on DraftKings and Drafters with 20 rounds, but 18 rounds on Underdog, 20 rounds on Drafters and DraftKings, and these are kind of the numbers you want to stay within. Now, again, we will talk through like deeper level strategies, and then like if you draft a quarterback early, how many take? If you draft a running back early, how many take? There are different strategies that we will get into on Best Ball 102 and 103. But I also want to talk about, before we get out of here, the playoff structure. Again, on Drafters, there isn't a playoff structure. It is cumulative scoring weeks 1 through 17. On Underdog and DraftKings, there are playoffs weeks 15 through 17. So weeks 1 through 14, you have to make the playoffs to have a chance at the money, because the playoffs is where the money lives. So weeks 1 through 14 is the regular season on Underdog and DraftKings, and then it's either usually the top 2 or 3 advanced, depending on the type of tournament you're in. So again, you have to be smart with bye weeks, smart with positional allocation to make sure to cover for injuries and that kind of thing, to make sure that you make the playoffs. Because again, if you don't make the playoffs, there is no money. The money is in the playoffs on these sites in weeks 15 through 17. What are some basic strategies to help you make the playoffs? Well, just for basic strategies that I try to keep in mind is I want to stack my quarterback. So stack it with at least one pass catcher. So if you have 2 quarterbacks, stack each. If 3, try to stack each with at least one pass catcher or somebody from that quarterback's team. I also like to stack up good teams. I don't think there's anything wrong, even if I don't get Patrick Mahomes. I don't mind getting, Isaiah Pacheco and a Kadarius Toney. That's okay, because you're still getting access to a good team. But with whether you have the quarterback or don't, I usually keep it between 2 to 4, because you don't want to overstack. That then you're kind of tightening the kind of overall upside for your lineup. So those are kind of like, again, basic strategies to keep in mind. Whether you are on Underdog or Drafters, if you use code FANSPEAK, you get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So you deposit $100, you get $100. That's $200 of drafts that you'll have this summer. Again, we will have content all summer long on FanSpeak to help you, throughout the season. We will be doing strategy shows, live drafts, interviews, all sorts of good stuff to help you with your best ball drafts this summer. But we hope this helps you on Best Ball 101. Be sure to look out for Best Ball 102 and 103 if you're a more advanced player. And again, be sure to check out all our content on the FanSpeak Network for good best ball strategies and live drafts. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.